Westplex 107.1, Sucker for You. Shelley, you hear me okay?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Who is this? Who is this?
Ha 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 ha.
It's Westplex 107.1. We are the morning show here on the station. We are called BNS because she is Brad, I'm Shelley. It's called bsinthemorning.show. The website for the radio station is westplex1071.com. We are doing our best to put you into the best possible mood in maybe the worst possible circumstances, right? That's what we're doing. Give some information along the way. We have, who do we have interviewed today?
Angie Harness with Keller Williams Realty Chesterfield.
And
harness your dreams, harness your future.
And she is an expert at real estate, and we'll find out what's going on with real estate, if things, because, so many things were hot before this crazy crisis erupted, and the real estate market to the point where what were all the real estate agents complaining about? Can't get enough listings. They'd put them on the market, and sometimes, they'd put it on the market for, like, let's say $200,000, and they would literally, almost like an auction, I'll pay $210. No, I'll pay $220. No, I'll pay $250. Nice place to be if you're a real estate agent, but we'll find out if that's still the case. Weather, gosh, yesterday was sure beautiful, wasn't it?
It was amazing. I mean, it was really, really amazing. I have to say that I did go out, but I stayed in my car, and except for I went to a friend's, but we kept minimum safe distance, and we also, because I went to Sugar Fire, use their curbside to get some lunch.
I know. I've been hearing their ads on the radio station here.
Uh-huh. And so then I went, and so this is how we did it. I was like, come outside. So I stayed by my car. She stayed by her driveway. And then I got the toasted rab, which is really brisket.
Ooh.
And I set it in the sidewalk in between us. So we kept our six foot minimum distance.
Okay. So how would you have rated your meal last night?
Oh, it was excellent.
I mean, in other words, you would have rated it 5 doinks?
Yes, Brad, I would have rated it 5 doinks.
Okay, here we go.
Doink, 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 doink.
Oh, yes. 5 doink rating from Shelley.
Do you feel better?
Well, no. This is the new rating system. See, other people have most people have stars. I've seen smiley faces. So, but obviously stars and smiley faces don't work well on the radio. So instead we have Shelley, who the other morning when she was describing how she liked something so much, she essentially did not like it, and she gave it 1 doink.
Doink.
And I said, wow, a new rating system is born. If she really likes it, it gets 5 doinks.
Doink, 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 doink.
If she's, it's good, but not like, off the charts, it's 4 doinks.
Doink, 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 doink.
And if it's sort of average, it's 3.
Doink, doink, doink.
And below average, 2.
Doink, doink.
And if it's bad,
doink.
So that's the doink system.
Do you feel better?
No. Hey, we are trying to, God, you know what? I talked about this yesterday. And if you're an advertiser on the station here and you start your commercial out with this, in this uncertain times, I get it. But here's the problem, is that now every advertisement on every radio station starts out that way. In these uncertain times, I mean, come on, just get on the microphone and say, hey, it's screwed up out there. We know it, but here's what we're doing to fix it. Right? Wouldn't that be better?
I think that's what we're doing.
Yes. You and I are essentially saying, like, hey, it sucks. We're trying to make the best of it. We're trying to put a smile on your face. And more importantly, we're trying to give you information on places that are open, places that are still around. For me, I tell you, it's just, I have been, and I know people are going to go, oh, you're the guy. I go to a Schnucks I go to Schnucks every day. Sometimes I hit a Deerberg's. I mean, more of like in a reporting kind of situation. And over the weekend, this past weekend, it was crazy town. There were people everywhere. Every day since, less and less people. And, I get it.
That's because how much food can they stockpile?
They went to the stores.
And how much toilet paper can they stockpile?
They went to the stores over the weekend and stocked up. And, obviously they're going like, well, I don't have to go anywhere for a week. So maybe this weekend it'll be crazy town again. But, man, when I was in one of the Schnucks yesterday, It was not. There were not many people in there. And I pulled into the parking lot, came off the highway, and pulled in the parking lot. Thinking, whoa, not many people here. Probably the least number of cars I've ever seen in the parking lot at this particular Schnucks. And I have to tell you, those people working at the Schnucks and the Deerbergs and the Wally Worlds, those stockers, they got to be tired. Because I know they're working them, they've got some temporary people coming in, they're working OT, what a tough job. And I personally think that, they're sort of the heroes. We always talk about like the first responders and people like that. Yeah, they are. But, the people who are showing up for work, the people who are, the Ameren UE guys who are keeping our power going, the Quiver River people that are keeping the viruses out of the electric lines, they're the good guys, don't you think? And gals.
You know what? There are first responders in many ways.
Well, just like us, we're considered, and I know
essential.
No, we're considered first informers. Have you ever heard that term before?
I have not.
Yes, first informers. That's what the the people, because of the fact that we're the people on the radio. We're telling you this, we're telling you that, we're telling you, like, I would never say anything that wasn't factual.
Just don't say it.
Like, for example,
just don't.
When I went to the when I went to the airport yesterday, Bigfoot was there.
Absolutely not.
No. Sasquatch was on one of the Southwest Airlines flights yesterday.
I think that there's a problem with that because Geico had the Sasquatch.
Yeah. And you are still hung up on that thing with the Sasquatch.
I am.
Why? Because they violated, because they didn't ask his permission. They didn't get a release from him to use his They didn't get a release from him to use his likeness. Wouldn't that be funny? Wouldn't that be funny? Wouldn't that be funny if Terry Crouppen came on the air one day and says, "Hi, this is Terry Crouppen. You know my law firm, Brown and Crouppen. Recently, Sasquatch came to our office and has decided he's going to sue all these companies and all these people who've said bad things about him. And we believe in Sasquatch. Therefore, if you've ever made fun of Sasquatch or Bigfoot, and matter of fact, that guy that owns that big truck, we're coming after you because you have violated our client's personal identity, and you have used his likeness without our approval." Can you hear that?
I can actually hear that, but my point being is that I liked the Sasquatch. I could relate to them.
He's hairy. He's big and hairy is what you're telling me.
The Geico guy.
Oh, the guy.
Yes.
Oh, the Geico guy. Okay. So when
the Sasquatch Geico guy.
Okay. So here's Shelley, a woman, saying, "I can identify with Sasquatch." I'm going, oh my God. What do you mean you can? You should say
the Geico guy. I can.
But okay,
just never mind. I'm not even going to explain it to you because
you can identify with Sasquatch. Hey, you're going off on the strange side. I'll say, I can identify with George Clooney. He's this good-looking guy who's an actor and he's got all the women, and yeah, I can really identify with him. Not.
I think you could identify with him.
Oh no! Come on.
He probably plays by the rules and isn't a disruptor, though.
Well, he's got famous parents. That's part of his claim to fame. Plus, he's a good-looking dude. Plus, he's successful. He's got millions
Who's his
in the
parents?
bank. The singer Clooney. What's her name? Maybe that's not her. I can't remember. Somehow he's related to what's her name. Here, let me look at this. George, Angie. Now you're going to get me going on this. But that's because that's who he's George Clooney, Clooney, parents.
CLO.
Parents. Let's take a look at that. George Clooney's parents. There's Nick Clooney. George Clooney.
Rosemary.
Yeah, Rosemary. Right. Relatives. Oh, no, that's his aunt. I'm sorry. That's his aunt. I was wrong. I knew he was related to her somehow. Anyway, his mother, Nina Bruce, Nee Warren, was a beauty queen. So see, he comes by the good looks. He's got that producer. You know how old he is now? He's 58, man. He's pushing 60. Pretty soon.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's 58.
He's only 2 years older than me?
Pretty soon he'll be able to get,
I already have our AARP.
Hey,
It starts at 55.
And when he's 60, he'll be able to go to Schnucks at 7 o'clock in the morning with the old people, right?
He could be immune compromised and go there as well.
Right. Early life. Okay. Born May in Lexington, Kentucky. His mother, Nina Bruce, was a beauty queen and a city councilwoman. His father, Nick Clooney, is a former anchorman and television host. He's got good-looking parents, including 5 years on the AMC network. Clooney is of Irish, German, and English descent. His maternal great-great-great-great-grandmother, Mary Ann Sparrow, was the half-sister of Nancy Lincoln, mother of President Abraham Lincoln. Clooney has an older sister named Adelia. Cabaret singer and actress Rosemary Clooney was his aunt. Through Rosemary, his cousins include actors Miguel Ferrer, Raphael Ferrer, and Gabrielle Ferrer, who is married to singer Debbie Boone. Man, that guy's got connections. He's got some showbiz connections. I got nobody, I mean, my grandfather was an illegal immigrant. How's that? Some people have, what's that? Well, I won't say it. She'll get upset when I say it. Okay.
Yes, who? She being me? Yes, I probably will.
The lucky you-know-what club. You know what I'm saying. Right? Or don't you know what I was going to say?
Yeah, I know what you were going to say now.
Okay.
All you had to do was say, she'll get mad at it, and I pretty much knew that you knew that I would get mad at it, so you probably shouldn't say it.
Right. Okay. We're going to take a break. By the way, if you want to check out our websites to help you get informed, Westplex.news. That's our news site. It's an aggregation site. There's tons of stuff coming up on there as far as what's going on with the cities in St. Charles County, the county itself. A lot of stuff. Check it out. It's 618.
Westplex
107.1, Kelsey Ballerini, I Miss Me More. Morning to you, 6:35. It is BS in the Morning. We are here. We are trying to put positive spin on the not-so-positive situation we've got right now, saying goofy stuff. Shelley's, been out rating things. Matter of fact, I'll give you what her rating is and something coming up. This is her rating in doinks.
Doink, 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 doink.
I'll tell you what she rated as 5 doinks coming up here in a minute. And by the way, Shelley.
Brad.
Job well done. You're not going to believe what happened, but the devil came out of the underneath part of the ground there, and switched
the underneath part of the ground there.
Right, what do they call that?
Specific. HE double hockey sticks.
HE double hockey sticks, and took our radio station off of streaming. He just swiped it and put on, as a joke, a God Squad station. And Shelley just had a fight with the devil. I mean, the devil, she was like that song, Devil Went Down to Georgia.
For a soul to steal.
Yeah, devil went to St. Charles County and had a fight with Shelley over our streaming channel. And Shelley was like, fighting him and beating him back and the whole bit. And then she did the ultimate. She did a hair flip and knocked him back down into HE double hockey sticks. And
yes,
then
I did.
She retrieved our station off of the God Squad channel. We apologize for that. We had some complaints that when you listen to us on streaming, instead of listening to Brad and Shelley, you got Reverend so-and-so and telling you that you were going down to see the devil. And so we rescued you from that.
Yes, we did.
Why would the devil put on a God Squad station?
Because he's got a sick sense of humor, maybe?
I guess. I don't know. Maybe you think it's one of those counterintuitive things. I'm the devil, and nobody will ever guess that I'll take Brad and Shelley off the air and put on a God Squad station. But yes, it's done, right?
Whatever you say, boss.
And how did Shelley do it? She had a patented move that she used against the devil, and she did like one of those ninja stances, and then she just pummeled him with
Boo-choo, 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 boo-choo.
Oh, man, and he didn't stand a chance for that.
You are so wrong on so many levels sometimes, Brad. I don't know why that is exactly, but it is.
Well, okay, well, look, I'm going to get myself in trouble for saying this, but...
Well, then, every time you preface with saying something like that, that usually means you're the little good angel on your shoulder says, Brad, you shouldn't say that. And then the devil on your other shoulder goes, "Go ahead, Brad. It'll be funny."
Well, no, this isn't about funny or not funny. This is a thing where the Joe Biden thing. Did you sneeze into your elbow?
I did.
Okay,
I
very
dabbed.
good. Okay.
I sneezed dabbed.
Okay. This is a thing where every time lately, every single day, Joe Biden says something and it's like, huh? Yesterday he was on an interview, and he's doing all this stuff from his house, where they've got like the camera set up and the whole bit. And he talked about how he was a college professor and he taught at these two different colleges and he never did. He never taught at either one of them. And the bizarre...
Was he crazier than a loon as he is now?
The bizarre part of it is he said when he left the Senate, he became a professor. Now, think about the timeline, okay? When he left the Senate, you know what he did then?
I have no idea. Do I want to know?
Oh, come on now. You don't know your history? When he left the Senate, he was the vice president because he was a senator up until... Barack Obama chose him as his vice presidential candidate. He was still a senator.
Oh, okay.
And when he left the Senate, in other words, one day he was a senator, and then the next day he was the vice president because he was still a sitting senator when Obama was elected to office. So, and he's going like, yeah, when I left the Senate, I became a professor. What? I mean, every day it's like, and what's crazy about it is, I'm not seeing this stuff on Fox. This is on CNN. It's like, okay. Now, to me, it's like, man, I can't wait for the presidential debates. This is going to be better. I mean, this is going to be like you thought it was good between Trump and Hillary. This is going to be like unbelievable. But yet, you know what the rumor is? And I know you're not a political, you don't follow this stuff, but the rumor is that every single day that Mario Cuomo, who is which one? There's so many Cuomos, Chris Cuomo, all those ones. Anyway, the governor of New York, he's on TV every single day. And there are people that are already starting to say he's like the safety candidate for the Democrats. So if the wheels fall off for Biden, they'll put Cuomo in there. Especially since this crisis, because, he's the guy, he's sort of like the Rudy Giuliani of after 9/11. Remember when Rudy Giuliani sort of whipped New York back into shape, and he was the guy there every day. And when, quite frankly, if you know the story about Rudy Giuliani, 9/11 was almost killed because when the plane started hitting the World Trade Towers, he responded to the scene and for a while was in one of the buildings that collapsed. So it's like, man, that would have been, talk about, it's terrible that 3,000 people lost their lives, but, the mayor gets wiped out as well, too. But anyway, That's the theory that Governor Cuomo is going to be the replacement for Joe Biden because Joe Biden's going to go off the rails. So anyway, just thought,
I think that Joe Biden is going to go off the rails, too.
Well, he sure says some interesting things.
Yes, he does. He sounds like me.
Well, it's to the point where it's like, what did he... this deal, like the thing yesterday, and I'm reading this going like, and he's talking about, I taught here. And the reason he was saying this, because he was saying the fact that he can identify with young people because he spent so much time on campus. And people are going like, huh? Like, when was he on campus, as a professor? And nobody can document that he ever taught a class. People
Wasn't
are saying,
he
like,
the one that dropped acid?
No, that was.
That was somebody else.
No. He didn't. Where did you come up with that?
Because there's somebody that you've captured that said, after a while, I felt like I had dropped acid.
No, that's hold on. Here, that's our buddy John Kennedy from Louisiana. Hold on, here it is.
Oh, okay, got it.
5% of the way through, I thought I dropped acid.
Remember we talked about him yesterday? He's the guy with all the crazy quotes. He makes all these crazy quotes. He's like he's like sort of like your crazy uncle who's like the farmer who's it's pretty bad when the crows come down to pick on the scarecrow. He's one of those kind of guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Anyway.
I get it.
Do you really? I feel sorry for you. Okay. It's 6:43. Westplex 107.1. Yes. Don't care. Well, I do care. I do care. I care deeply about how you're doing. That's why we're doing our show. We're doing more of our show. We're doing 3 hours in the morning instead of 2. We're doing 2 hours in the afternoon to try to keep you, a little bit good. When we say goofy stuff, Shelley does at least. I'm Mr. Straight Guy. And we try to put a smile on your face, try to give you information, tell you about what's going on. If you're a stock market fan, we talked about this Tuesday. Okay. Boeing stock was down to, I think it closed on Friday. Correct me if I'm wrong. Smartest lady in the world. Closed on Friday at 95. And what did I say Monday morning? I said, if I had money, I'd be buying Boeing stock like crazy. And I know there's probably stockbrokers out there probably going, I can't believe he said that. That's terrible advice because it's probably going to go lower. Okay? At one point yesterday, Boeing stock was at 171. So let's do some quick math. Let's just say, for the sake of argument,
let's hypothetically say you had 3 shares.
Well, if you had 3 shares, you would have made. Let's figure 195 to it closed. I think at 165 or something like that. So 65, so 70. Okay. So if you would have bought 3 shares, I don't think they'll let you do that. But if you would have bought 3 shares, you would have made $210. Okay. If you bought 1 share, you would have made $70. Okay. If you bought 10 shares, you would have made $700. If you would have bought 100 shares, you would have made $7,000. And if you would have bought 1,000 shares, you would have made $70,000. Okay? So once again, and I've always been sort of the contrarian. I don't know if I told you the story or not, but once upon a time, maybe I shouldn't tell this because all the brokers will shoot themselves after I say this. But once upon a time, way back in the day, I sold a business and I got a check, a big check. Let's say I got a check that was had a 1 with 5 zeros after it. Okay. And at the time, TWA, the airline, was struggling. They'd come out of bankruptcy and their stock was down to $1. And I opened up a brokerage account with a brokerage firm. And I went to my broker and I said, I want to buy 100,000 shares of TWA. And he about fell off his chair. Are you kidding? You might as well just take your money and go just throw it into the wind. Just drive down a highway and throw the money out the window. He just went like ape, what? And I said to him, no, I got a good feeling about this. No, you don't know anything about it. You're not a stock market person. You don't have all the training that we have and blah, 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 blah. So I didn't do it. Within a month, the stock went to 6. So I would have made $500,000 just like that, But yet I listened to the smart guy and it was the wrong advice.
I'm sorry for that.
But
it would have already been spent. So you don't think that they would sell me 3 shares?
I don't. Most of the places have minimums. You can't buy like a share or stock or something like that. You can try, but I think here. Let me take a look where Boeing finished at yesterday. I think, like I said, I know I looked at it at one point in time. It was over $170. And let's see, BA stock. Close 158.73. So okay, but let's still, if you had 158, so let's just round it off to 160. So it'd be $65. So if you would have bought it on Friday, for $95, and you would have sold it. Well, if you would have sold it, like last night or during the day yesterday when we're nearing where it was closing, you still would have made $65 for every share. So once again, 1 share, $65. 10 shares, $650. 100 shares, $6,500. 1,000 shares, $65,000. 10,000 shares, $6.5 million, right? Or no, $650,000.
Oh, why wouldn't I have that?
I don't know. But I know there's people out there going like, oh, listen to that stupid guy on the radio. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. He's talking about buying Boeing stock. But the crazy thing about it is that on Monday, if I would have gone on the air and said, oh, I did. But, I know there are people going like, oh, man, listen to that guy. What the hell does he know? Boeing's in trouble. Their 737's grounded. Once again, look at it this way. There's only 2 major manufacturers of big commercial airliners in the world. One of them's right here in St. Louis. Well, at least part of it's here. The headquarters is up in Chicago, and the other one's in Europe. And you know darn well, because of the fact that right here in the St. Charles County area, they make missiles, and there's all sorts of parts being made for the fighters, and they assemble the F-15s and the F-18s on the north side of Lambert. You know that. I mean, your son-in-law works there, right? That's right. That's what he watches over, right? The manufacturing up there in the north side of the airport. So
yes,
they're not.
Yes. He's actually a firefighter. He's a firefighter and a fire inspector for Boeing.
Right. That's what I'm saying. He watches over them. He's the guy that if there's bad things happen, guess where he's at? He's right there on the north side of the airport.
He's on the front line.
Right. So they're not going to let Boeing go into the toilet. There's no way. So their stock may be somewhat battered. And yeah, the airline industry is taking it in the shorts. But you know what? And I do believe this. When we get on the other side of this, things are just because it's sort of like, let's say, just for the sake of argument, let's say tomorrow at noon, President Trump gets on television and says, I know this is crazy talk, but let's say he gets on television and he says, we have come up with a virus. We've come up with a vaccine. And you're not going to believe it, but we haven't talked about this much, but every single doctor in the country, we've supplied them with a huge supply of this vaccine. And if you go to the parking lots at Walmart or Target or, any of the big box places, there's going to be people there giving you vaccines. And we have enough vaccine to essentially vaccinate the entire country over the weekend. And on Monday, everybody will be vaccinated. And on Tuesday, things will be back to normal. You don't tell me that, if everything opened back up, that, people are going to be stampeding to, the restaurants to eat a meal again, and they're going to be, going to sporting events and things like that. Don't you think?
I absolutely do think.
So,
but I will say that it has been a beautiful thing, because I went over to my friend's house, Jeannie Strickland, yesterday, and we sat there, and I think I talked about this already, where we kept our minimum safe distance, and we just didn't stay by each other, but we would just sit there and talked, and had like a little smorgasbord out on our driveway. But she was over here and I was over there. But one thing I noticed, and she said that this wasn't normal in her area, in her neighborhood, I must have saw 20 families actually getting out and walking with their kids and their dogs.
No, I get it. I mean, what else are you going to do?
I know, but it was just, maybe this is just a reset for us.
Oh, yeah, I went and saw my cat yesterday.
Oh, Q2 or Q1?
Q2. Yeah, I went and saw Q2 yesterday, yeah.
The Mancoon?
Maine Coon.
Whatever.
And by the way,
Maine Coon, it's all the same. It's still a big cat.
What Shelley didn't realize was that I paid Jeannie Strickland's next door neighbor, and he had one of those parabolic microphones. And when she was sitting outside at Jeannie Strickland's house, and they were eating sugar fire food, because thank you so much for all the advertising you guys place on our station.
Stop it. Stop it.
And when they were eating there, Shelley just spontaneously broke into song.
Say.
Oh, it was such a touching moment.
That actually is kind of cute. I'm not going to lie. I never get tired of that one.
Okay.
I'm sure you'll make it to where I do get tired of it, but as of now, I love it.
So how would you rate that little song that you did?
Doink 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 doink.
Ooh, 5 doinks. Okay, good. It's 7 o'clock. Westplex 107.1. You need to calm down, Shelley. Just calm down.
Calm down.
There you go. It is BS in the Morning. I am S. She is B. Our website is bsthemorning.show. And if you did try to stream us, you got a God Squad station instead of us. And I have to admit, that was all Shelley's fault. So...
It was all my fault. I am so sorry, everyone. Because I texted him this morning, and I'm like, it's streaming
Yeah,
a Christian station.
Yeah,
and so
fire and brimstone was coming out of our streaming site. So, yeah, one of those things. We are doing our best to try to keep people up to date with what's going on, especially in the Westplex. We have a couple different sites there, westplex.news. That's all. Matter of fact, let's take a look at what's going on with that. Let's see what the latest stories are with that. A lot of up-to-date information. Wentzville closes playgrounds, extends recreation facility closures through May 3rd. Wow. That's going on.
Wow.
Lake St. Louis Police blotter, and I do that. St. Charles County COVID-19 update. 18 positive tests as of Wednesday evening. That's on our site as well, too, and that's thanks to 70 West Sentinel. 3 residents of senior facility test positive for COVID-19. That's from St. Charles County News. 2 more St. Charles nursing home residents test positive. That's from STL Today. A lot of different stuff on there. Also, if you go to westplex.directory, and that is another site we put up. Matter of fact, that one is up as of yesterday. And what it is right now, it's only 2 things on there. And it's information from St. Charles, I keep saying that. It's the O'Fallon Chamber of Commerce. And they have their list on there, which is actually a very extensive list. They did a nice job on this.
It is. And they keep on updating it every day.
And let's just take a couple ones right off of there. Good News Brewing in Defiance, curbside service, call ahead.
Which is also Alpha Omega in O'Fallon, Main Street.
Call ahead and online orders are available. 50% off to all people who work in the restaurant industry or who have been laid off due to social distancing regulations. If you get on this site, you will see the name of the business. It's alphabetical. You will see their phone number. And if you have like a phone that you can just hit the phone number and it automatically dials it, man, you don't even have to punch it into your phone. And the website's right there. Hattrick's Irish Sports Pub. That's just south of...
That's on the corner of 70 and Bryan Road.
Well, you know what? I saw that, but I think they have the wrong address on here because it says Hattrick's Irish Sports Pub, because that's what I was thinking. It says here 840 Highway K. That's not right, is it? Unless there's another one. I know.
Did they move?
I don't know. I mean, I know where you're talking about because I thought, they were right there just south of 70 on K. Matter of fact, in that little strip center, immediately south of 70 to the point where if, as you were going north on K, north on Bryan to get on to 70, they're the last building on the right, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway,
Yes.
We'll have to double check that. It says 840 Highway K. Matter of fact, here, let me do this. Anyway, walk-up window available and curbs. They have a walk-up window. Yay! Remember when places
They
used
do.
to have...
That's on Bryan.
Yeah, it says right here, 840 Highway K, so I'll double check that. Jimmy John's, 981 Waterbury Falls Drive, phone in and online ordering available, curbside pickup and delivery offered. That is part of the information you'll find at westplex.directory. We are doing our best to get the word out on various things going on in the community, businesses that are offering special services, and especially the restaurant business. Man, I read this article last night that I have to be honest with you, it really depressed me after I read it. It's an article about the Convention and Visitors Bureau in St. Louis. And man, I know.
RCGA?
No. This is the Convention and Visitors Bureau. This is different. These are the ones that are promoting travel. They're the ones that are promoting, travel to St. Louis. They're the ones that are out there trying to get conventions to come into St. Louis, and how they've drastically cut back their staff, and they've had all these events cancel. And once again, like so many people are saying, a month ago, we were doing real well. We're coming off, 2019 was a good year, and 2020 looks like it's going to be even a better year. And we had all these conventions, and man, then just the bottom dropped out. And that's what's so...
and it's really a shame about the conventions, because not only is that an imposition and a, something to kind of attack the convention centers and the organizations that are sponsoring these events, but I have a friend who their son, that's his job, is to promote events, convention center events actually, and doing the setups, and he's out of a job.
Well, a lot of people in that
it's like the
are.
trickle-down effect.
Well,
it's like
for
7
example,
degrees of separation.
Next month, we were supposed to be, you and I were going to be doing the St. Louis Business Expo from the St. Louis Small Business Monthly and at the St. Charles Convention Center. Canceled. And by the way, the smartest woman in the world looked it up, and apparently whoever put that on the website, it's 840 Bryan Road, not 840 Highway K. So you and I were correct. It is on Bryan Road, and there's a mistake on that website. But we'll tell the O'Fallon people that they should change that, because it's the wrong address on there. I mean, it's the right number. It's just the wrong street, right? It's 840 Bryan instead of 840 Highway K. And I've never been there before. I was going there one time, and the guy was supposed to meet canceled on me, and we never went. But I've heard it's a really good place.
It is, and they've got some really good food.
And a lot of restaurants need our support right now. Can I tell you something? And I shouldn't.
Please do.
I shouldn't admit this on the air, but you know what I did last night?
Go ahead and admit it. You lay it all out there anyway.
I went to the White Castle on 94 last night.
Good for you.
Yeah, it was good. Man, it was good.
I bet it was.
And this is funny. The lady working the window, she's my kind of gal, okay? Because, I place my order and I go up to the window and, and she's smiling at me, and she was a really good, very good mood. I really appreciated that. And I said to her, and she says, "Can I get you any mustard or ketchup?" And I go, "No, can I have salt and pepper?" And she goes, "No, you can't have salt or pepper. We don't have that." And then she smiled. She says, "Just kidding."
Oh, that was cute.
So I sat in the parking lot and I ate my White Castles. And by the way, and I thanked her, and it was sort of funny because I thanked her. I said, "Hey, I appreciate you coming to work, appreciate you doing this job and keeping some of us fed." And she says, "Well, we appreciate you coming in to eat." So I'm going like, yes, I like this lady. So I drove off in the parking lot and ate my dinner. 4 White Castles. I had a number 1, 4 White Castles, French fry, and a diet soda. It was so good. And you know what?
Diet soda, huh?
There was and the sad part is, I thought it would the line would be around the building. I was number 3 in line, and there weren't that many, and there was only one guy behind me, and for a while there was nobody in line. And I'm going man, this is sad. When people aren't in line in White Castle, that's like. Do you know about this deal with the what they call the Waffle House Index?
I did know that, but I don't know what it is now.
Yesterday, Waffle House announced they were closing I think 385 locations.
No, did they?
Smartest woman in the world will know this, and if you know, this is a true story. We're not making this up. FEMA, or one of the big disaster agencies of the federal government, they have what they call the Waffle House Index, and the idea being is when a tornado goes through an area or a hurricane hits in Florida or along the Atlantic or Gulf Coast, that they deem or they figure out how bad of an impact that storm has had on the area by how many Waffle Houses are closed. Because if there's a bunch of Waffle Houses that are closed, then it's been a really bad storm. Because the Waffle Houses have the reputation that man, it's got to be a pretty bad event for a Waffle House to close. There's 385 of them closed. Now, I drove by the one on 5th Street last night, and man, I swear it looked like it was open. Now the smartest woman in the world just say now Waffle House up to 415 closed. So this
how many are there across the nation?
416. No, I don't know. There's a bunch. So that's the deal. Okay, we're going to take a slight. Did you get a hold of her by any chance?
I did not, but I didn't try.
Okay, I'll tell you what.
Go ahead and do that.
If you can, because now we're running behind here. Let's take a. What am I going to do here? I'm going to make an audible here. I'll tell you what. We're going to go to spots right now, and then if we can, we'll pick her up at about 7:35 or so. How's that sound? If we can get her then.
Yep, that'll sound good.
Is that a deal? Okay, it's 7:20. Westplex 107.1, Senorita, 7:30. Good morning. It is BS in the Morning. Our website is bsinthemorning.show. Station website is westplex1071.com, and we are proud to announce to you that we're back on streaming, and there's no more God Squad on streaming. It's us. Or maybe some people would rather have God Squad on streaming. Who knows? Anyway.
Well, then they just stream another station, because we're not streaming that. We're streaming us.
Okay, the most intelligent woman in the world has given me some information on Waffle House, and if you want to find out if your Waffle House is open or closed, you can go to locations.wafflehouse.com. And like I said, I went by the Waffle House on 5th Street there, just north of 70 in St. Charles yesterday, and swore it was open. And sure, according to this, it says 1200 South 5th Street, St. Charles, Missouri, and it's got a little check mark, a little green check mark that says open 24/7. Matter of fact, it also says that the Waffle House at 12701 St. Charles Rock Road in Bridgeton is open 24/7, and the Waffle House on Dorset Road, 12215, open 24/7. Waffle House at 10635 St. Charles Rock Road, open 24/7. Waffle House, 375 North Highway 67 in Florissant, open 24/7. Waffle House, 4525 James S. McDonald Boulevard, Berkeley, open 24/7. That is the as I call, the famous Waffle House. You know what happened there years ago at the Waffle House?
The one over by the airport?
Yeah, just south of 70 on McDonald. You probably know where that's at, right? Okay. I mean, literally just south of 70, okay?
Right.
Years ago, I did some work for Church's Fried Chicken. I did actually, it was sort of an interesting, we put together a contest for their employees, and he wanted to make it sound like a radio contest. So they hired me to put together like promos like, you can win these great prizes, stuff like that. Sort of like you'd hear in the radio, all you have to do. And it was a really good promotion where, boy, it was really good for some of the employees. They could win some nice stuff. Yeah, there were certain goals you had to attain the whole bit. So I dealt with this guy quite a bit, and their offices were right next to the Waffle House. I don't know if they're still or not, but that was their district offices for Church's Chicken. So one night, a guy walks into the Waffle House with a rifle to try to rob the Waffle House and rob the people who are in there. And there's a bunch of guys sitting at the counter. And one of the guys, literally, I am not kidding, this is a true story. You can probably find the article in the Post-Dispatch, because I'll tell you why it was in the Post-Dispatch in a minute. So anyway, one of the guys at the counter stands up, and the guy comes in and announces, hold up. And the guy at the counter essentially cussed him out and says, "You're not robbing us." And he ran at the guy, and the guy shot him in the shoulder, and it didn't stop him. And he ran at the guy, got the guy, knocked him on the ground, and the Waffle House patrons beat the daylights out of the guy. Okay? So, true story. So
I say that's instant karma.
Okay, so the guy's on the ground, they're beating him up, the Berkeley cops show up, I'm pretty sure that's Berkeley right there, and they take him off. Okay, by this time, a reporter for the Post-Dispatch, or a photographer for the Post-Dispatch, apparently heard this on his scanner, went to the scene, and took a picture of the robber on a gurney who was wearing a Church's Fried Chicken uniform.
Oh, that is so hilarious.
So on the front page of the paper, here's a picture of this robber being carted out of the Waffle House, after he robbed these people. And first off, and they had quotes, and the guy that got shot wasn't, he got shot, but he wasn't life-threatening or anything like that. And they interviewed him, and he goes, "I can't believe that guy came in here and bothered our dinner." Dude, you just got shot. I don't care. We were eating dinner and he came in here and I'm not going to let that guy bother us. That kind of thing. But the guy that I worked with was going like, "Oh my God, that was so embarrassing for us." And it turned out the guy had worked like at Church's like 3 days and hadn't turned his uniform back in. And so he robbed the place wearing a Church's Fried Chicken uniform. It's like.
That is so hilarious. I'm not going to lie.
Well, but it's one of those things where, and it was to the point where you're going like, okay, most of the time, and it's one of those things where you see these guys, and especially like the carjacking things. Every once in a while, you'll see a story where the carjacker, the guy tries to carjack somebody, and the guy who's being the carjackee, the guy who is, the driver of the car will pull a gun and say, "No, you're not taking my car." And I'm not endorsing that, because the police always say, no, you should never do that. No, you should never fight back. No, just do what they want. But still, how many times have you heard people that, yeah, whatever, okay, don't hurt me, boom. Like, well, that didn't work out well. You know what I mean?
Yep, I do know.
Sort of sad. So
it is.
So you couldn't get a hold of her?
I could not.
Okay. We'll try to do that tomorrow then.
Okay.
Maybe, I'll tell you what, we'll see if we can maybe reach out to Mr. Elam tomorrow. We had him on.
Actually, she is just calling.
Oh, she's calling you?
Yeah, I'll have her call.
Well, I have to call out, though.
Yeah, I know. I'll tell her that you'll be calling her.
Well, you want to try to do it right now?
Sure.
Okay, is she calling you, or can I call her right now? This is what's called fly by to the seat or your pants radio. we're just making it up as we go along, and we're vamping her. We have a guest that we're trying to get on the air, and we've had a little bit
And she is ready for you, sir.
Okay, so hold on a minute. You talk for a minute. Let me get my phone here.
I get to talk?
Yeah,
I never get to talk.
Talk for a minute.
So Brad is calling Angie Harness. She is a senior specialist with Keller Williams, Chesterfield, and she is an expert at her craft. She's clearly a real estate agent, and she's a very dear friend of mine and also a sultry minx. And
hey, you ready? I'm ready. Okay. I got
and
her.
There is Brad. He's got her on the phone, and I'm going to be quiet now. Hi, Angie.
She can't. I don't think she can hear you. Angie, you hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine.
Hey, okay. Angie Harness, Keller Williams. Good morning. Thanks for being with us. You're one of the people we're talking, and Shelley and I have had questions. We're talking about the various industries that have been influenced by what's going on with the virus and the shutdown and the whole bit. You are a real estate ninja. Tell us what's going on in the real estate business.
Well, there's a lot of unpredictability right now, as I'm sure you already know. At the end of the day, there are still those people who are going to need to move. I'm still putting houses on the market. I put one on last week, and I'm putting two on this week. And I put one on the market, went active yesterday, and we're already getting lots of showings on it. So we're just doing things a little bit differently. We are not allowing overlapping appointments. We're not doing open houses so that we don't have a bunch of people in at one time. I just ordered one of those fancy Matterport 360 cameras, so once it comes in, I'll be able to do 360 virtual tours. That will help cut down on traffic into homes and hopefully only have traffic that is really, really interested, especially for those sellers who are still living in their homes. They're going to have to, obviously, if you have people coming in your house, you're going to need to, go through and sanitize once you go back into your home because you don't know who's touching what. So, yeah, there's just some different precautions people are going to need to take.
Now, as far as I know, that going back month, 2 months, 3 months, a lot of the agents, their complaint was not enough listings. Is that still the case? Are you still getting listings?
I'm still getting listings. Like I said, I put one on last week, and I'm putting two on this week.
So people are still, even though we've got the whole thing with the coronavirus thing, people are still listing their homes. And most importantly, are people still buying?
Yes, they are. Again, it's slowed down because, we know that there are a lot of people who are out of work. So obviously our buyer pool has thinned out. And there are sellers who are reluctant to sell right now because, they might not know what their situation is going to be in the next month or so. So it's definitely slowed down. But, again, there are still those folks who are doing okay and need to make a move. And quite frankly, unfortunately, there's likely to be some folks in the next month or so who might have to sell their homes because of what's happening. We just don't know. We hope that's not the case, but we don't know.
Now, how about pricing? Because I know pricing had been, I've heard several agents talk about the fact that they list a house for $200,000 and then they have people in a bidding war that bid it up several $1,000s. Is pricing pretty decent, or has it gone down?
It hasn't gone down yet. Well, let me make a correction there. Houses that have been on the market have definitely made price adjustments. For sure, especially once this started. It really depends on the property. So those price points that are around that $200,000 range are still a hot price point because they're more affordable to more people. So that's a bigger market, and those, as an example, one of the ones I just put on, I listed it for $230,000, and it's already getting lots of showings on it. So we'll see. We'll see if I get multiple offers on it.
So essentially, the real estate business it's not been like a lot of industries where all of a sudden it just fell off the cliff. You're still humping and grinding out there.
I am. However, I know that I can't say that's the case for everyone. My photographer who I met with on Monday to do our photo shoots, I was the only photo shoots that she was having this week. So it has slowed. There's no question it's slowed. I've had enough in my pipeline that, and the people that I'm working with do need to sell. And so that's happening.
Now, as far as locations, any locations hotter than others right now?
St. Charles County is great. So I wouldn't say it's necessarily, St. Louis County is going pretty about similar based on the data. So.
And as far as, types of houses, we go through this all the time for a while. Everybody wants a ranch, and then nobody wants a ranch. They want 2 stories. What's the market right now? What are the type of houses that people are really looking for?
I think it depends. If you're talking about somebody who is downsizing, they want a ranch. If it's an older person, they want a ranch because they don't want to have those stairs going up and down. It depends. It really depends on the family and what they need. I don't see really necessarily one over the other in general. It's probably more about condition and price point.
Now, you specialize dealing with a lot of seniors. How's the situation as far as the senior market is concerned?
Well, currently I'm not working with any seniors. I would say that market most likely, and I don't know for sure, is probably pretty hunkered down right now, since they are the most vulnerable to this virus. I know I was talking to somebody, I think it was somebody in our All-Stars group yesterday, was talking about, if seniors are kind of on lockdown, if they're in if they're in a nursing home or any kind of assisted living facility, they're having everyone stay in their rooms. So it's kind of a tough situation for them.
Interesting. Now, if people want to get a hold of you, contact information?
Yes, they can reach me at 636-856-6485. And I'm always happy to just consult with people. I think preparation is really important. This is a really good time. If someone is thinking that they want to sell their home, it's a good time to just get prepared. One of the things we want to be doing right now is, having those consultations, getting those staging appointments, getting photos done in lieu of putting a house on the market when people are ready to sell. That way, once things get better and people are more comfortable having people coming in their homes to look at their homes, to have it all prepared and ready to go when that happens.
Angie Harness, web address as well, too?
My website is angieharnessconsulting.kw.com.
And that's harness is common spelling, like a harness on a horse?
Yep, Harness.
Angie, thank you so much. Do appreciate you coming on with us. Sounds like you've got things under control, and glad to hear things are moving forward for you. And also, thank you so much for doing business with us. We certainly appreciate it.
Well, and I appreciate you and Shelley, Brad. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Have a great day.
Thank you so much. I know you are just a big fan of hers, right, Shelley?
I really am. She's amazing.
Yeah, she is. She's and there are in any business there are good people that are really on top of their game, and that's definitely Angie Harness. And then there's other people that are like, I don't know about you. You know what I'm saying? But she is like really one of the best. And I don't know about you, but whenever I met with her and talked with her, I have a feeling of comfort with her. Is that weird?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
No, it's not. That's just the way she is.
Yeah, she just makes you feel real comfortable, like, hey, we can take care of this, it's, and I think that's probably why she does so well is that, for most people, buying and selling homes is their biggest expense they'll probably ever have in their entire life.
Unless they buy a brand new Corvette.
No, well, even the Corvettes are not, you can still, that's the crazy thing. Don't get me going on that. You can still buy a Corvette for, I think you can, like the base Corvettes are like $60,000 or $70,000 when you consider that, you get some not so fancy cars that are $40,000. You know what I mean? So it's like, what would you rather have? But anyway, that's a whole other story. Angie Harness, she's great. We appreciate your business.
Yeah, she's lovely.
Glad to hear that things are still going on with that. You know, the downside is that right now, this is the time when the real estate market usually gets hot because of the fact that if people are going to move, they're usually looking right around this time of the year because especially if they have kids, they're trying to get the move done and all settled in by the time school year starts. Now, that's really going to be goofy this year because who knows when school is going to end. I don't know if any of the districts in our area have officially... I mean,
some of them are out of school until the next school year.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Some of them are gone, for the rest of the remainder of the school year. And I have a few teacher friends left, even though they say I insult them all the time. I still have a few teacher friends left. And I've asked a couple of them, hey, what's going on? I mean, what about like the kids who are in high school who are seniors? Where do they stand right now? And you know what the answer is? We don't know. So it's talking about being in a state of flux, right? Okay, we're going to take a break. We will be right back. Westplex 1071. We're only human. I'm sorry I had to do that.
You didn't let that last note go.
I did.
You talked over it.
No, we're only human. Shelley and I, we're on the radio. We're just are very approachable people. We are very down to earth.
Yeah, we're like a Tesla.
752.
Plug us in and there we go.
Well, I'm going to go there. I was going to say something, but I won't. Good morning to you. It is BS in the Morning. bsinthemorning.show is our website address. And also, you can find the station address at westplex1071.com. If you go to the station address, you can stream us there. You can listen practically anywhere around the world, and no more God Squad.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
I get a text from Shelley this morning.
That was my fault. I'm not going to lie.
I get a text from Shelley this morning. There's some God Squad station on our streaming channel. And the funny part of it is, guess who controls the streaming channel?
I do.
It's Shelley.
That'd be me.
I don't have. That's not my deal. It's her deal. She controls the streaming channel. So I get this text from her thinking to myself, why are you telling me this? I'm not in control of that. You are. So anyway, and she checks, and sure enough,
yeah, it was off 2 degrees.
The devil got into our streaming channel and changed it over to the God Squad station. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Actually, it was my dog that knocked the knob, but that's a whole other story. So the smartest woman in the world, she is quoting a local infectious disease expert, and this local infectious disease expert says of the St. Louis area, as a region, we started some of our social distancing measures a little earlier in the curve than other places. I'd like to get across to everybody who is listening that these measures, even though we haven't been hit hard yet, right now is when they do the most good. So everyone stay home. If you've got, and sometimes it's not for you, it's for the person that you don't know that could be immune compromised or, have immune compromised and then another disease on top of it, or the elderly. Just be aware. Be aware of your surroundings and just be careful. And go outside. It's supposed to be a pretty day outside. Go outside. Enjoy the day.
The weather, well, we're not going to have as much sun as we did yesterday. Matter of fact, I think that we're going to... That was
so beautiful.
Oh, it was nice.
No words.
It was nice, yeah. And unfortunately, starting tomorrow, the weather is not that great. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, Saturday. It's going to be warm today, 71. Some partly cloudy skies. It's cloudy for the most part right now. We should have some sun in the 8 and 9 o'clock hours. And then maybe later this afternoon, 6 or 7 o'clock, we might actually see a sunset. But for the most part, it's going to be sort of cloudy today. So we'll just have to deal with that. It is 7. Hold on. I got to do something or I almost screwed up, which is a daily occurrence for me.
Say it isn't so, yes. Bunky.
It is 7:55. Westplex 107.1 Boyfriend. It is, you know who that is. Shelley knows who that is.
I don't. I don't listen to the actors, the musicians'
actors.
names. I just
Okay.
listen to how the song makes me feel.
Shelley's right on top of it this morning. Yeah, the actors who are singing these songs, I really like that.
Okay, J-Lo was an actor before she was a singer. Thank you so much.
Oh, that's right. She was in the movie. Wasn't she in the movie? Wasn't it the thing that...
Selena.
Yes, she played the lady who was unfortunately killed by the crazy weird fan. So, yeah. 8:04, good morning. It is BS in the morning. Okay, I have some good news for a change, okay?
We love good
And
news.
being that I'm
What is it?
a Ford guy, here's the headline. Ford aiming to restart truck production on April 14th after coronavirus-related closures. And it doesn't affect this side of the state, but on the other side of the state, did you know what's sort of interesting about this? The state of Missouri has an interesting situation as far as vans are concerned. The GM plant, which, as of late has been making the new midsize pickup truck, the Canyon, and the Colorado, depending upon if you buy a GMC or a Chevrolet, is the only plant in the world that makes the GMC full-size vans. Okay? Only place.
Yeah, I've known that.
Okay, now, but did you know that on the Kansas City side of the state, that
They make this Chevy?
No. In the Kansas City side of the state, the Ford plant is the only plant in the world that makes the Transit large size vans.
I want one of those little mini transits for our
No, I want
station van.
I want the big one. I want the big one with the raised roof and the dual.
I want the little one.
Dual rear wheels.
It's so
No.
cute. Extreme Electrical has one of those little ones. It's so cute.
I don't think he has. I don't know if he has.
Yes, he does.
I don't know.
I saw it the other day.
No, he doesn't have a. That's what they call a Transit Connect. I don't think he has a Transit Connect. I know what you're talking about, but
It was not a big one.
no, I think but I don't think it's. I don't think it's a. It's a Ford. I think his is a Chevy. I think he buys mainly Chevys.
I don't know.
Yeah, other than that, Caleb's a great guy. I mean, if you were a Ford guy, then he would really be.
I'm a Ford girl.
Some things.
Actually, I'm a Lincoln girl. I've always been a Ford girl.
Well, I grew up with parents that bought nothing but Chevys. I mean, I'm not Chevys.
And Buicks.
General Motors. Buicks. Right. Buicks. That's my thing. Is like, once again, when I used to drive a lot on Highway 94, I used to have a game I used to play, and I called it Buick No Buick. And I'd be driving along at 55, back there in the back roads on Augusta and stuff like that. And if I rapidly came up on a car, which meant they were only doing like 25 or 30 miles, before I could see what kind of car it was, I would bet myself, okay, Buick, no Buick. And 9 times out of 10, I would say Buick. And when I'd come up behind the car, it was a Buick. And they're doing like 25 miles an hour in a 55. And I thought to myself...
kind of like you.
I don't...
Were you driving a Buick?
No, I don't... See, once again, Shelley is Miss Speed Demon.
I am not a speed demon.
I
do the speed limit plus 9.
I disagree with that.
That's a thing. That's a St. Louis thing.
The day you passed me, I was doing the speed limit plus 5, and you passed me like I was standing.
Minimum 40.
No, I was not. That
I'm
was
like, people were passing
that was
you
my
by.
that was my dad
Giving you the phalange.
No.
It was.
No, that was my dad.
I was sad for you.
My dad used to drive me crazy. We'd go play golf, okay? And we'd go over to Illinois, play golf. And I can't remember which way it was. But
Close to Sauget?
No. If the Missouri speed limit the minimum was 45 and the Illinois was 40. One way or the other, okay? So, like, we're driving along, and let's say we're in Missouri and we're headed in. I think that's the way it was. I think Missouri's minimum was 40 and Illinois was 45. So, let's say we're driving.
But it's just the opposite. Now, Missouri is higher than Illinois.
The minimum?
No, I think the minimum. No, I'm talking about the actual speed limit.
No, I'm not talking about the speed limit because my dad would never drive close to the speed limit. He would drive the minimum. So what I'm saying was, let's say in Missouri it was 40.
So do you.
And in Illinois it was
Apple
45.
tree.
No, so if we crossed the state line in Illinois on the Chain of Rocks Bridge, he'd have to speed up to 45. But when we went back the other way, if we went from the 45 minimum into the 40, he'd slow down to 40. And I'm going like, holy cow, that's the way he drove. Like Mr. Poke Along, and my mom.
Was he a 2-foot driver?
No, that was my mom. My mom tore up more cars because of that. I mean, she ate through brakes and she tore up transmissions because she'd drive with 2 feet, automatic transmission, and that was the way, like
She grew up with a clutch.
No, she just was a bad driver. I mean, she'd drive along. I mean, the way she
That's because she didn't have a radio.
well, the way she accelerated was she'd put a little bit more, pressure.
Is she a pulser?
No.
Or was she a pulser?
No, she would just accelerate with the gas pedal, but she'd let off the brake a little bit, to the point where, if she wanted to slow down, she'd push the brake down a little bit and let off the accelerator a little bit more. It was crazy. And man, I'm as a kid, the transmission shop was like, I think the guy at the transmission shop paid for like about 3 boats down at the Lake of the Ozarks because of my mom. And brakes, oh my God. When I started working on cars, I used to replace her brakes all the time. It's the point I go, Mom, stop driving with 2 feet. Oh, I'm not driving. I go, Mom, you're driving with 2 feet. 1 foot, right foot, accelerator, and when you're done accelerating, take it off the accelerator and put it on the brake. Not left foot brake, right foot. That's not how it is. And especially, it was funny because when I took driver's ed, I told my driver's ed teacher, and he went, "What?" And I go, "Yeah, my mom drives with 2 feet." And to the point where the crazy thing was, sometimes as I got older, sometimes like if she was going to like take her car to the shop and I would follow her there, stuff like that, her brake lights were on all the time because she had her foot on the brake all the time. She'd be driving down the road, brake lights on all the time, foot in the brake, And I mean, she just and you'd say something to her about it, and she was, "Oh, I don't drive like that." I go, "Mom, nowadays it would be really easy.
It's like denial. It's like.
Are you talking into your Nord again?
Yes.
Oh.
I'm sorry, but it's like you. It's like denial.
Shelley, you're talking to the guy who admits. You're saying I'm Mr. Slowpoke. Remember, I went on.
You are Mr. Slowpoke.
Oh, hold on a minute now. I told the story coming back to see my son, and I shouldn't admit this because if there's a Mississippi State Trooper who's listening right now, he'll come and arrest me. But when I was driving back from seeing my son in Pensacola, I'm driving back just 3 months ago. Matter of fact, 3 months ago yesterday, I'm driving back from Pensacola and I'm heading north through Mississippi on 45. And a car passed me, probably doing 120 miles an hour. And I'm going like, whoa, just like, zoom, right by like that. So I sped up and
What was that again? What's how they make?
Like that. Anyway,
that's not what you said. Why don't you capture that?
Why don't I capture that? Okay, hold on. I'll do it. I just captured it. This car went right by me really fast. The car went by me really fast.
Doink.
Oh my God, it just went by me so fast. As a matter of fact, then 2 cars went past me real fast.
Doink, doink.
And then 3 cars went past me real fast.
Doink, doink, doink.
Anyway, so
you were such a man child. Every day I think, maybe he'll be an adult today, but nope.
No. This guy passed
Adulting
me probably
is hard. I don't blame you.
Probably about 120 miles an hour. I thought to myself, you know what? It's Christmas morning. It's like 8 o'clock on a Christmas morning. There's nobody on the road. I'm just going to fall in behind a guy. So for about 50 miles, I was doing anywhere between about 110 and 120. Should I admit that on the radio? And there was nobody anywhere. I mean, you talk about, I heard another radio host, can't remember who it was, on one of the stations talk about like, wow, driving around on the roads, since the virus thing has been in effect, it's like driving around on Christmas morning. And it's the truth. See, there aren't a lot of people that drive around Christmas morning. And I've been one of them for years. Matter of fact, I used to work on Christmas morning all the time, and I knew what it was like driving around. And here I'm doing like so you're saying I'm driving 40 miles an hour. I was doing 110.
Okay. Well, when was that? When you were like 16?
No, it was this past December. By the way, you know what yesterday was? We missed
this past December?
Yes, I told you.
Do you know what today is? Opening day.
For what?
It would have been for the Cardinals.
No. Today?
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think it was.
That's what Facebook said.
No, what does Facebook know? Once again,
everything.
If Facebook said, women today color your face green and shave your head Shelley would be walking around with green makeup on and a bald head because she just, whatever Facebook says, I am in, Facebook controls me, whatever they say I do, I am a robot. Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, smartest man on the planet. He loves women. I remember seeing the movie. That's how Facebook started. He started Facebook to compliment women. I love Mark Zuckerberg. That's Shelley, the
Do
robot.
you feel better?
No, I'm just telling you the way it is. Once again, I've said it before. Women
just keep on keeping on.
Women
sir.
should boycott Facebook because go watch the stupid movie. Why did he start Facebook?
I don't want to watch the movie. Why do I want to watch that movie?
Because he made fun of women.
Why would I want to watch that again?
Because that's how Facebook started. He got jilted by some girl, and he decided that all girls at Harvard were bad. So we put this book up, this website at the time called The Facebook, making fun of women and saying bad things about them.
So he was jilted, and I'm sorry for that. He was probably a geek.
Yeah.
But my point being is that he changed the face of the world.
Okay, so let's take some villainous people. Let's take Harvey Weinstein. Let's say Harvey Weinstein, had done something, to the point where, look what he did. He had all these big famous movies, and yet when the truth came out about him, he's in jail, where he belongs. Look at all the nasty things he did to these women. Nobody goes, well, look at all the good things he did. He had all these movies, and he made all these actresses stars, and he was so good. We'll give him a pass. No, throw him in jail and keep him there. Same thing with Mark. Mark Zuckerberg should be in jail right now. That's what I'm going to say.
Because he made fun of women?
Yes. Put him in jail.
I get made fun of all the time.
Put him in jail.
By you, mind you. Should you be in jail?
Well, some people say my life is a living hell in jail. But by the way, I shouldn't tell you this. Okay, at my place over the weekend, in my bathroom, I've got where there was a leak in the roof. There's a couple soft spots in the floor. My foot went through the floor.
No, it did not.
Honest to God.
Oh, hon.
I can look through the one spot in my bathroom, and I can see the basement.
Well, that's just like my master bath. Our house flooded back in 2012, and it didn't flood the master bath, but it had carpeting there, and it was kind of spongy around the commode.
Right.
And I kept on telling my husband, we sit there and laugh about this, but one of these days you're going to come home, and the paramedics will be here, and they will see me with my, falling through the floor. Ha, ha, ha. Well, it just so happened that we had carpet in the bathroom that's one of the only rooms that we hadn't redone in the house. And we pulled up the carpet. The only thing that was holding up the commode was the pipe.
No, there's got to be some stringers or anything like some 2x10s
the only thing that was
or
holding
2x12s.
Up that commode because the whole floor was rotted around
I don't believe that. That's not, no.
A matter of fact, it is true.
No,
and my bathroom my master bath has been gutted since 2012.
You know what? Your story about your toilet?
It was a nice commode. It was soft plush. It was not right next to my bidet.
I'm gonna call BS on your toilet story, and I say you're full of poop.
That's not true. It is not BS. It is absolutely true.
I'm calling BS.
Ask my husband, that poor man, because his life has been a living inferno since 2012.
This is BS in the morning, and I'm calling BS on that. Your toilet didn't almost fall through the floor. No.
The whole floor was rotted except for the drain pipe that was holding up the commode.
There's no way the pipe's holding up the toilet. There's no way.
Absolutely. Well, there's not now because we had to take it out, but. I'm not lying.
Yeah, so now at Shelley's house, they have an outhouse. She has to go outside.
How did you know that?
817. Westplex 107.1 in the night. Bruno Mars with the radio mix there because, like the weekend, he has a potty mouth and we have to sort of censor what he says. So we have the special radio mixes. Right, Shelley?
He does have a little potty mouth, doesn't he?
The weekend's got the worst, but that's a whole other story. 822, good morning. It is BS in the morning. Okay, I was just watching, you were hearing me watch this. I was watching a video on CNN where one of the CNN anchors was interviewing two doctors about a photo that became viral of 3 New York nurses who were short of PPE. That's the term, the new term.
The personal protective equipment.
Yes, that nobody ever heard of that before, and all of a sudden, PPE, they don't have PPE, which is the masks, the face shields, the gowns, all that kind of stuff. Right, the gloves. Okay. They were short on protective gowns, so these 3 nurses got trash bags, chopped a hole in the top, and put them over themselves. And these doctors, oh my God, it's terrible. Hey, remember what I have in each of my vehicles? Remember I tell you this story? That's exactly what I have. I have those trash bags.
That's true. You do that.
And
I said you do.
And think about it for a minute, okay? Like, if you don't have, like, I get it that they want to have the official, you got to have the EPA or the FDA approved, protective gear. But you know what? When times are tough, when, you got to improvise. And to the point where I'm going like, okay, so they're wearing trash bags. They're protecting themselves. Like, I don't get it, but I understand, well, it's not the official gowns they should be wearing. But you know what? If it works, it works. I mean, what I'm talking about is
desperate times.
In my cars, I carry a wide brim hard hat and a trash bag. Or actually a couple of them. And I get the big 55-gallon ones you put like in the, in the big, like the big round trash bags you see like, or the trash cans you see like, in industry and things like that. The Rubbermaid ones, the 55-gallon Rubbermaid things, okay?
Yeah.
And
you carry those trash bags.
I carry those trash bags. And on
I don't have trash bags, but I do have steel-toed shoes, a safety hard hat, a reflective thing.
But the point is, the reason I carry them is because if it's wet and I got to work outside at one of the transmitter sites, I just grab one of my trash bags, I just poke a hole in the bottom, stick my head through, and then I put my hard hat on. And it keeps me, and the things are long enough to the point where it goes down, well past my waist to the point where it goes probably about halfway down to my knees, and it keeps me really dry. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, so if the water doesn't penetrate the plastic trash bag, the nurses, if they're wearing this thing as protective gear, that's keeping the stuff off of them, right? Like the blood and other stuff like that. So I get it. It's not the ideal situation, but, once again, it works. So, don't knock it, right?
I agree with that. Don't knock it until you try it.
And they're, it's terrible that it's terrible.
People do that when they go to the games and it's raining.
Well, but then you go to Disney. You go to Disneyland or Disney. Well, they're closed now. But if you go to Disney, if you've ever been there before when it's raining, they sell you the ponchos for like $10. It's like, hey, it's raining.
Do they?
Oh gosh, yes. They're the people out and running around.
That
hey,
could be a good side hustle for the Cardinals.
What? I think
I
think they do that.
They do?
Oh, yeah. And once again, the Cardinals, it cost them a quarter.
But they should charge for them.
Yeah, but they charge. What do you mean charge for them? They probably cost the Cardinals a quarter, and they sell them to you for $10. It's like,
sure.
If you have a beer down the street at the stadium, it's $2. If you have a beer in the stadium, it's $20. But then you said today was supposed to be the start of baseball season today?
Yeah.
That's right. It was early. It was in March. Yeah, I think you're right. Yesterday,
I'm sorry, what?
I think you're wrong. Yesterday was 9 months before Christmas. Can you believe that?
I can believe that.
Yeah, 9 months
Actually,
until
I
Christmas.
can't. I cannot believe that this is the end of March.
Yeah.
In 2020.
Well, we still got a couple days next week. It doesn't kick in till a week from yesterday as far as April 1st because I believe, I have to double check my calendar, I think Monday and Tuesday are the last 2 days of March. So anyway, it's BS in the morning. We're here an extra hour because of the fact that the boss called up and he said, if you'll work an extra hour, I'll pay you $300 for the extra hour. And we both said, hey, we're in.
Yep, that's exactly what we said too.
Yes. And if you believe that, we got a bridge in Brooklyn to sell you. It's 825. West Plus 107.1. One of those songs that I have a problem with the lyrics.
Why?
Well, once again, I think this is one of these situations where people can get away with saying, like a woman can get away with saying something that a man can't. And that song is a perfect example of that.
That's always been that way, and I think that that's right.
No, because she
Absolutely.
She says in that song something to the effect about, she calls another woman, another chick like me or something like that. Okay. she can call another woman a chick, but if I said, hey, Shelley, some chick cut me off on the highway today, what would you say? You'd go like, I can't believe you called her a chick.
No, what I would probably say is that's because you were driving 40.
That's not the
And they were getting around you.
No, that's not the case.
Angrily.
Get what I'm saying? Is it like, okay, once again,
That's what I would say.
the black people can call each other the N-word, but yet if you call them the N-word, you're in trouble.
Just don't even go there. Don't even make that relation.
It's true. I mean, like once again, it's
blah,
like
blah, blah.
It's like I've heard Italian people, use the W word at other Italian people, but if I use the W word at an Italian person, I'd be in trouble. So how is that fair? So
what is the W word?
Come on, you know what I'm talking about.
Wasp?
Don't even go there. Don't even go there, Shelley. Don't even go there, Shelley. No. So.
I have to quell my free speech, but you don't.
I just don't get it. I don't get if a word is offensive, nobody should use it.
Chick is not offensive.
But once again, if I went around today and here we're talking about if things were back to normal, I went in the store and let's say I'm checking out at Schnucks. Hey, chick, thanks for checking me out. You think that gal's gonna look at me weird? Yeah, she's going to leave.
Because of the way that you say it. I cannot stress enough to you. You have to say the right word, and you have to say it appropriately, or you're going to get people mad at you.
So if I said to her...
You can say anything.
Hey, chick.
As long as you say it right.
Hey, chick, thanks for checking me out. It's been fun.
No.
I'm done.
No.
No. If I said hey, chick, thanks for checking me out. I appreciate the fact that you put all my groceries in the bag, chick.
I would say, you're a really cool chick.
And I think I would get...
You wouldn't get in trouble if you said it like that.
Oh, I think you're wrong. I mean,
well,
so many people nowadays...
The only reason why you think I'm wrong is because you never listen to what I say.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Exactly. I told you to go and tell people that they looked nice and that they had nice shoes. And what did you say? You look very attractive today. Completely different.
No, that's not what I said. I said...
Yes, it is.
I walked up to the woman and I said...
Calm down. Calm down.
Okay, whatever. If you spoke in that little pitchy of a tone, I would look at you weird too.
I walk up to a woman and I said... Hey, you look very attractive today. And she said to me in that low voice, that low sultry voice she had.
It made me want to heave.
That's what she said.
Can you hear that?
What was that? Okay. Here's an interesting story out of Kentucky, okay? A 53-year-old man in Nelson County who had... the coronavirus.
Way to go.
Coronavirus. He was in the hospital and he got mad and he checked himself out. And they said, you can't do this.
That's an AMA.
Well, no, he said he can't do this. And he said, watch me. And he left the hospital. Okay.
Did they arrest him?
No. Instead, what they did was they're enforcing a forced isolation on the man. They have a sheriff deputy sitting outside of his house 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And this is in the Kentucky state law, they are allowed to do this. If he tries to leave his home, the sheriff can forcibly put him back in his house. How do you feel about that?
Wow.
But
how do I feel about that?
Here's my problem. I think
he's a tool for leaving.
Yeah, I agree. And not only that, is that sheriff's deputy, the people in that county are spending money, for 24-hour a day, 7-day a week, police coverage of the guy, that police officer could be doing something else. Essentially, they're dedicating a police officer. How much does that cost per day, whatever county it is? And that's ridiculous because that police officer should be out there, responding to other calls, should be responding to accidents, people in need of assistance, bank robberies, all sorts of crazy stuff. Not sitting out of some jerk's house who wouldn't stay in the hospital. I think, what I think they should do with the guy?
What?
I think they should pick him up, wrap him in bubble wrap so he doesn't infect anybody. Give him a little breathing tube out of there, and then put them on a plane and fly them to like to Antarctica or something like that, and just keep them there. Put them on ice.
Speaking of which, Antarctica, do they have any cases?
Well, there's hardly anybody down there. I mean, and part of it is that's so interesting because it's now fall in Antarctica.
Is it really?
Yeah, because they're the opposite. Once you get south of the equator, the seasons reverse. So when it's spring for us, it's fall for them, and when it's summer for us, it's winter for them. Because my one guy I used to know who was a baseball play-by-play guy, he used to spend our winters in Australia. He did Australian baseball. He was the play-by-play guy down in Australia at an Australian radio station, and that's how he essentially worked year-round because he was a play-by-play guy for a minor league team. So in the spring and the summer, in our spring and summer, he was here in the United States doing play-by-play for a minor league team, and then when it was our fall and winter, he went down to Australia and he did Australian baseball because for them it was their spring and their summer. So he essentially was working year round doing baseball play-by-play.
I don't think that that's a problem.
No, I'm not. I didn't say it was a problem.
Okay.
I didn't say it was a problem. And you know what? Shelley said,
what did I say now? Please don't do it. Whatever you're going to do, don't do it. Because you're laughing like Snidely, the dog from Snidely Whiplash and Dudley Do-Right.
Shelley calls me this morning, and first off, she's complaining that God Squad has invaded our streaming. And then she says to me, I don't know if I can go on the air this morning. And I go, why's that? And she said,
I got bronchitis.
Man-child. Again. You just can't help yourself, can you? You really can't.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you do.
8:44. Westplex 107.1, south of the border. Matter of fact, south of the equator is Antarctica, and the smartest woman in the world has informed me that it's currently minus 72 Fahrenheit, minus 72 at Amundsen, Amundsen, Amundsen Scott South Pole Station. Population is 100,006. 0 permanent residents. Antarctica has 2 seasons, summer, October through February, and winter, March through September. July is the coldest month. So for us, July is the hottest month, July and August. So it's backwards of us. See, the smartest woman in the world listens to our station, and she sends me this information.
He does. She loves it.
Once again, if you want to keep up to date on what's going on, we put up a website, westplex.news. If you go there, you will find updated information pretty much all the time, direct to you from St. Charles County, St. Charles City. There's an article in here right now that just popped up about St. Charles County Council. A second article, Wentzville closes playgrounds, extends recreation facilities closures through May 3rd. St. Charles County update, 18 positive tests. This is all at westplex.news. If you go to westplex.video, you can see some of the latest videos up there as far as what's going on around the area as far as the news is concerned. Westplex.directory, we have 2 listings up there right now. We have the Western St. Charles County Chamber of Commerce, which is listing businesses that are offering special services and restaurants that are offering special deals. They're telling you whether it's curbside delivery, home delivery, whatever. Same situation for O'Fallon. That's also at westplex.directory. O'Fallon Chamber has a extensive list which has all the different restaurants and what they're offering during this reduced time of service. And most of the restaurants do not allow you in. I have to tell you a funny story. I mean, this is I'm not.
Tell me a funny story,
I'm not
Brad.
I'm not making fun of this woman, but I didn't know what the heck she was doing.
Is her name Shelley?
No, I have no idea what her name is. I was behind her. I'm going to a Quickie Mart yesterday to buy something. Okay.
Did you stay 6 feet away from her?
Oh no. Here's the problem. I walk up and I'm behind her, and I'm like 10 feet behind her. So she opens up the door and she sticks her head in the door. And she's blocking the entrance. This is one of these places where, it has 2 doors that open, they both open, like, what do you call them? Dutch doors, or not Dutch doors, 2 doors, okay?
Double doors.
Double doors, okay? And she sticks her head in between the 2 doors and blocks the entrance. And I'm going, okay, why is this woman sticking her head through the door and blocking the entrance? And she stays there. So I can't go in, and the people inside can't get out. So I'm going like, what the heck is this? So I violate that 6-foot zone, and I get up closer, and I hear her saying in a very, meek and mild voice, "Are there more than 10 people in here?" And nobody can hear her. So finally, one of the guys at the counter finally hears her say this, and he says, "Ma'am, come on in." And she opens up the door, and it's like me, like 2 people, 2 employees in the store, and like 3 other people. And she's like sticking her head in the door. "Are there more than 10 people in here?"
She was trying to be vigilant, Brad, because she takes this seriously.
But once again, we're not talking a big store. You put your head in the door, you can see the entire store. You know what I mean? It's not like, it's like there's departments where, you go back here and there's, 20 people could be here and 30 people be back here. It's like you look through the front door and you look left, you look straight ahead, you look right. You can see the entire store from the door, and she wouldn't go in. So I said to her, "Hey, chick," and then she kicked me.
First of all, you didn't say that,
No, I didn't.
but I can see her kicking you because you were pushing her through the door.
I was not.
Way to go, Brad.
But I didn't know what was going on because I'm going like, why is she sticking her? I mean, literally, she opened the door far enough, and then when she put her head through the door, she like pulled the door closed on her neck. And I'm going like, what is she trying to do? Commit suicide at the Quickie Mart? She's going to pull the door closed on her head? In the news report, woman commits suicide by, shoving her neck in the door at the Quickie Mart. No, and it was funny because she's in there walking around, like looking around. And, I'm going like, okay, what is she like? Like, it was just weird, if it would have been a guy, I would have thought that,
You would have said, "Hey, dude, move the hell out of the way. I'm coming in, and don't you violate my 6-foot bubble."
I'm not that kind of a guy. I wouldn't do anything like that.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was me. My bad.
That was you. I wouldn't do anything like that. I just thought it was. I'm going like, look, I get the 10-person deal, but once again, that's the kind of thing where if there's 11 people in there, it's not like the doors are going to, automatically, lock, and the police are going to come in and put us in handcuffs and take us out of there because there's 11 people in there when there's only supposed to be 10. You know what I mean? There's a little bit of a wiggle room in those rules, right?
I don't think so. I think they're pretty
Shelley,
steadfast.
No, but why? You think, first off, the police have more important things to do than stand at the Quickie Mart and count how many people are in the Quickie Mart, okay?
Well, evidently not in Kentucky.
No, that was different because of the fact that guy was in the hospital and he was in the hospital. He was confirmed coronavirus, he had the virus. And he essentially said, "I'm getting out of here." And they said, "You can't." And that's when they called the police. And he says, "I'm leaving." And he did leave. He walked out of the hospital, got in his car, and drove home. And that's when they surrounded his house. For all I know, they're still around his house. But once again, you got the jerkazoids like that. You know what I mean? And once again, it's to the point where oh my God, that video I sent you, totally changing subject. Wasn't that funny? The Walmart dude.
Hilarious.
And it's really well done. There's this video of this geeky looking guy, he's a Walmart dude, and he's walking through the store, and all these women are like oogling him, like, "Oh, look at him."
He is eye
like he's George. He's George.
Thebomb.com.
Right. He's George Clooney at the Walmart.
They're panthers, and they want to break a little piece of them off.
And he's like about 17 years old. Okay, and there's all these women look like they're like maybe their 30s, 40s, something like that, and they're all looking at him like, "Oh, look at him." And after about the third or fourth woman looks at him, he starts doing like the eyebrow thing, like, "Hey, hey, how you doing?
Hey,
baby.
Cool dude.
Hey,
How
baby.
you doing?"
So then the video goes on for about 30, 40 seconds, and then there's a long shot of him, and he's pushing a big like a four-wheeler
pallet jack.
Yeah, a pallet jack with toilet paper on it.
Yeah, it's an ad for Charmin.
Yeah. No, it's not an ad for Charmin.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not an ad for Charmin. It's just a funny video.
Well, it should be because they had Charmin toilet paper.
I know, but it wasn't an ad for Charmin. It was somebody did it. It was.
Well, then they missed the boat then.
Well, I don't think Charmin would run that kind of an ad because they'd come on and go in our what's the term I say was using that's driving me nuts. in this time of uncertainty, in this time of uncertainty where I have no idea if Shelley is a human or a space alien, we need to seriously think about putting Shelley in a rocket ship and shooting her back to Mars in this time of uncertainty.
Okay. I don't know what you want me to say to that. Oh my gosh, the day's almost over.
Yeah,
it's 8:58.
But should we go on the air in the afternoon again?
Yes.
I read something.
How amazing they thought our show was in the afternoon.
No, I read something online in one of our trade publications, and they're saying that we as radio people, we need to be on the air talking because we, even though Shelley and I, and most of the time she's got good stuff to say, but I say nothing but goofy, weird stuff, that we are giving comfort to our listeners by being here and reassuring them that everything's fine because we're on the air.
I think so.
Oh my God, I'm going crazy. I can't take it anymore. No.
You're such a baby.
We're reassuring our listeners. Okay. So
are we going on this afternoon or not?
Yeah, 4 to 6. And
4 to 6, everybody.
Yeah, just like my old traffic reporting days. I did the mornings, and then split shift and come back and do the afternoons. And during the day,
it's like deja vu.
Right.
Is it the same cat or a different cat?
Deja vu? What are you talking about?
It's a glitch in the Matrix, Brad.
Okay. Shelley's speaking. I think Shelley's been on the air too long, and she's, falling into.
Do you not? Have you never seen Matrix?
I have. I don't know what you're talking about with a cat.
That's one of the classic lines.
I've never seen. Here, once again.
That's how they know they're in the Matrix.
I've never seen the entire movie. I've seen pieces of it. I've never seen the entire movie.
Okay, I will go on YouTube and find you an ADD snippet of the cat and send it to you. And so you will know, you will be in the know.
Okay. Maybe I want to be in the non-know. How's that? Or the unknown, right?
No, that's called plausible deniability. You don't get that.
Maybe that's where I want to be. Okay, that's going to do it for us. We're done.
Have a great day, everybody. We'll talk to you at 4.
And don't forget, you can check out our website at westplex1071.com. The morning website is bsinthemorning.show. Don't forget westplex.news, westplex.video, westplex.directory, and westplex.shelley is a weirdo. All available on the webs. 901.
You did not buy that domain.